Hi, Somali. Congratulations on this very exciting sci-fi thriller, The Deal. You
Thank
mentioned
you so much.
that this story was based on your real life relationship with your mother. Can you please elaborate more on that?
Oh, absolutely. I would love to. This movie was my love song to my mama. Everything about our relationship, how we loved each other, how we fought, how I got mad at her, um, everything, Janet, you see it on the screen. I'm still kind of beside myself when I watch it, and I think of moments that we lived in our real life that ended up on screen. Like, for example, one of the first scenes in the film, you see Tala, the mother, and her daughter Annalyn fighting because and Annalyn getting mad at her mom because she's dying. She has to die in 5 days, and she yells at her mom and then storms out and goes to party with her friends. And that's literally taken from my my time with my mom when I was in high school. She was diagnosed with breast cancer,
Mm.
and she was a single mom, and I just emotionally couldn't deal with the thought that my sole support system, what might happen to her. So on the day that she was supposed to go in for her mastectomy, I I just refused to go. And I disappeared in the same way that you see Annalyn on screen. And so
Mhm.
many other instances and moments like that that we got to play out. Yeah.
And can you talk about the heritage of your mother? Is she Filipino or Thai or?
Yeah, no, absolutely. My mom is Filipina. She my Lola and Lola are from Ilocos Norte. My mom grew up in Quezon City. So yeah, so she's Filipina, proud Pinay. She passed away 9 years ago, but to me, this she lives on through this film.
Mhm. And talk about your producing this film with Dean Devlin and his wife. How was it working with them?
Oh my gosh, it was such a dream come true, Janet. It was they were my first choice partners to work with, and I was so happy when they signed on. You know, to have the two of them together as well. I think Lisa really connected with how the story what the story says about women in society. And I think obviously Dean brings such a wealth of experience, and he's such a veteran, has so much world building experience in the sci-fi genre, and the two of them together combined with the heartfelt story that I wanted to tell about my mom, I feel like was it was a dream come true. You feel so secure when someone like Dean is helming and steering the ship. So I got to benefit so much and learn from him.
Mhm. How was it having all these women, doing this movie, directed by a woman, created by a woman, acted by women? This really women power in this film. Is it about time that women really took over the reins of Hollywood production?
Oh, I would love it if women took over the reins in all kinds of arenas. But yes, it was really special. Like you said, to have the movie come from a special place about, a very complex relationship between a mother and daughter, and then to have a woman champion in Lisa Brenner, and to have a woman director who not only, or she, our director, was so crucial because she actually grew up behind the Iron Curtain. So she brought such lived experience to what it's like to live in this post-apocalyptic or near apocalyptic dystopian world. And then to have all of us actually supported by Dean was just wonderful because he is so experienced and so knowledgeable that he can make suggestions where we all benefit from, but he can also listen. And I felt that because he did, we ended up with the story that we did, and we all got to participate and have a real seat at the table, um, guided by his leadership.
Mhm. This is also like a multicultural production with you and Grace Slay working on it and Dean. Talk about how important is it, representation is very important now in Hollywood.
Oh, absolutely. It is everything to me. Yeah, American dystopian films in general are notorious for their lack of diversity, like, and I wanted to disrupt that. I had to disrupt it. I felt a need to. We didn't want to just have that one Asian character or the one person of color character at the beginning that dies to signal that, oh, this is really an important thing that's going on. Like we really wanted to center women of color. And it's not, it's important for us to see ourselves on screen, but it's, we created these characters too, to be every woman that any parent can relate to. I mean, I think any parent can feel the love and the desperation that Tala feels to save her child.
Yes. And you also graduated from Harvard and you left your investment banking career. What made you do that? And at what point in your life did you decide, I want to be an actress?
That is a great question that probably some of my family is still wondering, why did she leave? No, I just got to a point. I'm very grateful that my parents could help me go to Harvard. And I went into investment banking thinking, okay, this is how I want to learn. Like, I want to learn how the world works. I want to learn how the money flows because that's so important. And I felt like I got a great education and foundation in business and finance, but it wasn't my passion. And like after working 80 to 100-hour weeks, week after week after week, and you're not engaged in something you're super passionate about, it finally just hit me like, what am I doing? Life is too short. And I decided that I wanted to pursue a career in the arts, which was really which was in me. I don't know if you know this, my Lola was an actress in the Philippines. Jesusa Montano Sadam. My great uncle is Severino Montano, who is a national artist of the Philippines. So I feel like it's in my blood. It just took a while for it to come out. I had to kind of go make a ton of money in business first, and then say, all right, I've done that. I've proven that I could do that. Now I want to pursue the arts.
Did Severino Montano ever tell you what to do, or did he allowed you to be an actress, or told you some tips on how to survive in the industry?
No, he didn't. He passed away before I decided to do this. But I think the funny thing is, because my mom grew up in a household where she watched her mom rehearsing for plays, because my Lola would act in Severino Montano's plays. If anything, my mom was trying to dissuade me from becoming an actor because she's like, I heard my mom rehearsing lines over and over and over. And it took her mom away from the family because she would be at rehearsals and then late at night and, performing. So if anything, I think my mom was trying to steer me away from it, but what's in the heart and what's in the blood you can't really deny that after a while. And so I just had to pursue it.
How was it growing up in two different diverse cultures?
Oh, it's a trip. It's a trip because I had the Thai culture from my father, the Filipino culture from my mom, and then of course, just growing up in America, I did spend the first 4 or 5 years of my life in Thailand. So Thai was actually my first language. But then my parents split up. My mom and I came back to the States, and she just drilled me with English, and so it was. I think I'm a little closer to my Philippine heritage because she was a single mom, but it's a trip. I'm so happy that you're interviewing me because there's a part of me that's like, sometimes I feel like I'm never Filipino enough to be considered Filipino, and then I'm never Thai enough to be Thai. And the Thai people say, "Oh, you look like you're Filipino," and the Filipino people say, "Oh, you look like you're Thai." And then meanwhile, the American people are like, "Where are you from?" And so sometimes it can be a trip, but obviously I feel like I've gotten to a place in life where I'm so grateful for the mixed heritage that I have.
Have you ever been to the Philippines?
I have
When?
several times. Probably the longest that I've been there. After I graduated from college, I got a Fulbright scholarship to the Philippines, and I studied there for a year. I was affiliated with UP Diliman, in the Women's Studies department, actually, and I studied the effects of overseas contract workers on families that are left behind in the Philippines. And I was there for almost a year and had the time of my life. I really, it was the best. I had my barcadas, I had my mountaineer barcadas, I had my academic barcadas, and then I had like, it was it was amazing. And then after I went into investment banking, I spent 2 years in New York, but then I eventually went back to the Philippines. That was my coverage area for Morgan Stanley. I was based in Hong Kong, but I covered the Philippines, so I would go back and forth quite a bit. But yeah, I love the Philippines. I love my friends from there.
You obviously speak Tagalog too, or
Konti lang.
just konti lang.
Konti lang. When I was there, I was so proud of myself because I would do research in the squatters areas, and I would take multiple, I'd take a jeepney, I'd take the tricycle to the communities that I was working in. And I got so good at one point that no one could cheat me on the change that I would get back. And I was so happy that I could say it just like a local, but obviously that's gone now.
Mhm. And talk about the development of your character. Your name's Tala Bayani and your daughter's Annalyn Bayani. Was that your idea or suggestion to the writer? And I'll talk about your collaboration also with Xian present for the writing.
Yeah. Sean was an important pick for me because he actually knew my mom. So Sean and I were friends from college. So he had met my mom a few times, and that ultimately I think was one of the main reasons I wanted to work with him. He actually came up with the names Tala and Annalyn. I know, I remember we brainstormed a lot, and I know that for the daughter character, there were like how Filipino names, there's sometimes there's like two. There's my
Yeah.
mom, Maria Linda, and and I'm blanking on examples now, but Anna Lynn seemed just perfect. He came up with Tala, and I've since learned there's actually other characters named Tala and many other things, but at the time I thought it was super unique, and I'm so glad that we got to work together on this with Sean. He was great.
And are you still pinching yourself that you just made a movie? Because I know in some of your interviews you said, I can't believe I made a film.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's, you hear about people saying how hard it is to get a movie made, but it really is. And now it's out there, and I'm just so grateful that we made it to the finish line. We actually finished filming this before the pandemic hit. And so that was one thing. We got our reshoots done in December of 2019, and then the world changed, and I'm so glad that we were able to finish and get it out there. But just seeing the dedication to my mom at the end of this was everything for me. I got to get closer to her through the process in a way that I couldn't have anticipated by playing the character that was based on her. I feel like my mom continues to give to me even after she's passed, and this is one of those things for sure. She used to say, "What's mine is yours," all the time, when she was alive. And to me, this is me sharing the love that she gave me with everyone.
What was the best lesson she gave to you, your mom?
That's a great question, Janet. I feel like there are so many. Dang. Okay, the first one that I can think of is you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you've come from. And that really has inspired me throughout my life to learn more about my Filipino heritage, and to get closer with that culture. That's one. And oh my gosh, there's so many. She wanted to make sure that I had a kid because she said it would be so fun, and she was right. Yeah, just how hard. I mean, really, really, it's how hard she worked, and how much she sacrificed for me that I didn't even realize when she was alive. I only realized how much she sacrificed when it was already too late. But I think that is one of the lessons that it's one of the lessons she gave to me in terms of how well, how deeply she loved me. And I hope that I'm honoring that, not just through the movie, but obviously through my real life, and how I take care of my son.
So that was very touching. So in your process of making this film, what did you learn as a producer, as an actress from filmmaking, about filmmaking?
So many things. Like you said before, I learned that I could actually make a movie. I didn't know that I could do that. Uh, I think that as an actress, it certainly gave me a lot more confidence. You know, this was my first lead role, co-lead role, and to be able to go through that process of filming, I think I was on set filming every day except for one, and that in and of itself is a huge learning experience. So becoming more confident with who I am as an actress was big. Just knowing that we could make a film, I could make a film was big. And thankfully, we had such a great experience working with Dean and Lisa and Electric, and everyone. The crew in Serbia was amazing. But because of that, we've gone on to make more movies, and we've got a couple out in theaters now. We've got a bunch more in the pipeline, and that is that's something I'm really proud of that came out of this too.
Mhm.
Continued producing.
And if you were to talk to your younger self, got a chance to talk to your younger self, what would you have told her?
I would probably have told her, don't worry so much. Everything's gonna work out as as you dream it will. I think especially starting off in this business, I had so few opportunities to do something like this, and it certainly took a while, 20 plus years of pounding the pavement and being active in, on camera and voiceover, video games, and like all kinds of places to be able to put together a living, and then to have it culminate in actually being able to tell your own story is amazing. It's truly a transcendent feeling, and I wish I could have gone back and told myself, it's okay, you can be calm, just keep working hard, but it'll come.
That was great. Thank you very much, Sumalee.